Alright, so we're going to update our Black Clover Mobile Season 1 tier list with the Season 2 units. We've gotten 6 new units in Season 2, so very huge. We're going to do all that. There's going to be a disclaimer on screen. Let me know what you guys think of the new tier list at the end of the video. But for now, we're just going to get right into it. Of course, you got to realize meta's changed, so a lot of units will go up and down depending on colors, how their color combos, all that stuff all comes into effect. How many times you see them also, just to like get a feel for them. And my personal use, I am currently top 200 in PvP, so that is kind of like my credibility. I kind of maintain top 200 because I kind of miss a lot, and I do a lot of showcases, which kind of hinders sometimes on my ranking, considering that I use weird teams sometimes and makes me lose more, so I think that does kind of come into play. So we're gonna start just changing stuff around, and yeah, so Rill could go down to A. We're going to take that row out because I'd say now that we got Noel, less Rodices are being used. So I'd say it's pretty solid A. Now let's make another tier 2. Add a row below. We're going to move these 3 down because I think they deserve to go here. Now as for the ones that deserve to go to C, I think that Luck doesn't have anything that could like kind of stop actions, and Soul isn't really a good tank for PvP at least. Now from these attackers, most of them kind of deserve B, I'd say, for the most part. For SRs, I think that Noelle should go down because now we have three shielders that are SSR, so she's not that worth it. And solid AoE damage is good, but considering that he's only really AoE, it's not like insane AoE damage or like to the point you need it to be. So I'd say B makes sense for me. So it's not going to be like the previous ones because I explained in depth in the previous ones, but now I'm just going to go very quickly and only cover mainly the new units, but we're still going to go over many people. So now let's start moving down the SSRs. This is going to be tough. So first off, Red Yami, not really the best. I'd say his AoE is okay, but Rai is just outright better, first of all. Second of all, I just don't think his damage is really crazy. And right now, you're not seeing him much because he's not that amazing, but he's okay. I just think that there's many better DPSs, and you don't really see many people tripping like completely crazy over him. I feel like overall, just his stats in general, where is it? Like if we go to character stats, like his stats are like pretty down there, honestly. I think like what Raya just has better stats. This Yami seems to be about the same, I believe. And then Kyato is just going crazy, like a lot more, right? So I'd say that Yami kind of lost his value, especially with Kyato. Kyato is very good damage-wise, so he's going to also kind of stomp on this Yami. I think his stun is nice, so I'm like, he's very high B to me. He still holds a good place in my heart. It's just not crazy damage, right? His ult kind of, you need to build up with him first, especially if you have a skill page. So that's all stuff that kind of comes into play, right? Because if you don't have his skill page, then he's just not that good. But with it, he could be a lot better, I'd say so. But he does take a lot of time to build up, and now it's a very quick meta, right? So it's not a slow meta anymore. It's a very quick meta in terms of like you're there for maybe 4 turns, and then the rest is just chipping away at the damage once everyone else is dead. Now Leopold, problem with him honestly is that yes, he has lifesteal and all that. His damage is good. He just has low HP. Like if we go to character stats, his HP for a DPS is very much on the lower side. Same with Fauna, but like Leopold's damage does not really compare to Fauna in terms of AoE, and single target is pretty good, but it's like the green units out right now is Lich, who could survive any hit once, and Raya, which isn't used as much. So I'd say that Leopold kind of lost his value in terms of color counter, and he's not the craziest, has very low HP, and I feel like he's just he kind of dies quick, I find, at least. It's hard to like kind of maintain him a lot of the times, especially if you don't get Noel Shield up quick enough. So I'd say that's another thing. Then last off, this Blue Yami kind of got... Alright, so actually, I would like to say that Blue Yami does stay in A tier. I did move him down to B, but after like looking at it further, he's probably staying in A tier. So just don't really mind that he's in B tier. He went back up to A. Just remember that. And yeah, it's basically because he didn't look the craziest, but I'd still say he has some things that could be useful, especially the silence. So I'm just like, yeah, A tier makes sense. I think that against red units, he still could go crazy. He's just not as good as he once was because of Kyoto, but still, I think he does deserve to be there, especially because Ghost does. So it's like, it's either I put both Ghost and Yami there, or both Ghost and Yami in B tier, and I'm like, yeah, no, they have to stay in A tier. Completely replaced by Kyoto. So I'd say he's down to B. Like, honestly, I could, like, him and these two Yamis are kind of high B, but in terms of PvP, not crazy, right? Not crazy at all. I'd say that he is pretty good, but he wants to go mainly against red units, right? Yami's not good. Red Asta could one-tap him and has higher speed than blue Yami. And Noelle, well, she's gonna fucking survive that and then tank it back, right? Yami doesn't do like stupid busted damage, and in terms of his stats, they are I'd say like they are lower than Kyoto's by a long shot, so that's kind of like putting a big gap and kind of giving him less value overall. So I think that to me it makes sense. You could tell me why not, but to me it makes a lot of sense, right? So now in terms of S rank, I think for the most part we should be good. I'd say I don't really see us. Yeah, okay. So William is still pretty good. It's just that we're more of a full team speed meta, and in terms of his counter now, Noelle has a counter, so William does get put down in my eyes. I feel like when I see a William, it's like, oh, okay, nice. It's a William and not a Finral, so we're eating. Especially just in general, using him on attack. Because now mainly the meta is Noelle. Noelle's scales off of magic attack, and he buffs only physical attack. So I'd say that does devalue him a bit. He's still very good, which is why he's in A tier. But to be an S tier now, there's a much higher there's a higher plateau, or not plateau, but like just requirements needed for you to be an S tier. I'd say that Red Asta has really high speed, which makes him good. She has the res and is just really good in general, bot and in defense and in attack. Lich has his like guaranteed hit like soaking because he is invincible for a turn. Lotus, we all know, AoE just like slows a big like crap ton. These two tanks just tank really well. He could stun and taunt. He could taunt and shield. Raya does good damage and is very good with Lich. The only other runnable team at the moment is still Raya and Lich, I'd say, and these two are just speed gods. So I'd say I don't really see William fitting in here, because even if he activates the counter first turn, to me, it's not crazy because Noelle's going to activate 1-2. And it's like there's no use having 2 when Noelle's just clearly the better unit like that you need on every team. So William, I think, loses value considering that you want to run Noelle most of the time, right? So definitely, I don't know. Like, I feel like William just doesn't have as much value. Even if we pair with Kyoto, like, building a full physical unit is very hard. Even just a full magic unit. So like you still, Ghost is a perfect replacement for William in my eyes. I think that for me, Ghost is a step up in many ways. So let's start getting into the actual new units. So first off, Ghost, since he's there. Oh wait, have to put it D rank. Whoops. So Ghost is basically just really good in terms of support. Let's go to his unit. He has decent speed, decent enough, I'd say. He's not a speed unit, but he's there to basically make your life way easier. So his ult is good enough, and honestly, in my eyes, kind of better in some ways than Williams. I think like Williams' ult is better, but then the skill 2 for Ghost is way better. But Ghost's kit in general is just really good. So basically, you get 30% damage reduction along with the accuracy increase by 32%. So at least his ult is going to increase your damage compared to Williams. And then the skill 2 is just way better than Williams because you get 50% all attack, which is way better than getting only physical 84%. Because of how units work and just like not always relying just on one stat. So getting both is good, but then he also gives penetration, has 60% chance for 40% penetration, which is really good, especially because penetration is a really good gear set to run, and it's going to be one you might end up getting a lot. So I'd say that honestly Ghost is really good for that. But then the main part is that you get intense sunlight, which gives you if you level it up to level 4, it gives 10% damage dealt per stack, which is what you have to level this up, I'm telling you. So getting 10% damage per stack is insane. Like, oh my god, it's really good because you could get up to 3 stacks, which is a 30% damage increase. And then also a skill 1 could activate weapon enhancement, so increasing damage done by 30% extra. So I'd say that Ghost is very good, and because this is its own buff, you could stack this alongside other damage dealt buffs like weapon enhancement, making Ghost a really good damage unit, and goes perfectly with Noelle and literally any other DPS in this game, I'd say, except for Asta. Maybe Asta is for sure. This Asta you're gonna use him with William. That's a given. But Ghost is just really good. Like I really like Ghost. Now Noelle, we already know. Yeah. So Noelle is going to have her own tier. She is Noelle, right? So not much to say there. She is insane. Actually insane at this game, bro. just too good. Has everything. I don't like, you've seen enough showcases for me to not even need to go over. But she has the highest AoE multiplier in the game, right? Is it really 90? I swear it was higher. She has the yeah, no, it is 90. She has the highest AoE multiplier. Has a shield that could basically give you like 200k to one person because she has a blessing, which is like a double shield, and this blessing shield gives you a counter. Then her AoE also does really good damage because of the weapon enhancement, which is perfect to stack alongside Ghost's damage dealt. So like anyone who works well with Noelle easily is good. And then she has the second highest speed below this Red Asta. So Noelle, yeah, she is amazing in PvP, defense and attack, just absolutely just destructive, right? That's how I see her. She is just a destructive unit, right? I really do like Noelle, and I think they did her really justice, right? Now, next up, I think we're gonna go to Yuno. And Yuno to me is an A tier right now, but he could be an S tier in the future because like Rill has his stun cool, but then Lotus, like the speed lowering so good. If the gear sets come out with like a speed lowering and stun, he's gonna be better because he has concentrated attack on his ult and he has the highest speed between the three. So if we go to stats, speed, debuffer, right now, out of the three like alts, AoE alts that have what's it called, that have incapacitate, Yuno's is the worst, but he has the highest speed. So like he is A tier, but he could soon get up. It's just that Lotus gets too many other debuffs that are good, where Yuno has the concentrated attack, which guarantees a crit, but he has nothing else, right? So soon we'll be able to put him up there soon. But he does also have a crit gimmick where like he could increase damage taken even further if he lands a crit, and then if he has if he has the skill page, he could increase his crit damage by 5% for every debuff an enemy has. So overall, he could do okay damage, but I'd say he's A tier. Like, he's not amazing, but he's not bad, honestly. Like, you could use him for a lot of things, and A tier to me is very solid in this game. So yeah, that's where we're gonna rate him. Okay, Gift Soul is B tier. He is a pretty decent support. He has all attack increase on his ult, but that's pretty wrong support. So that's pretty much his only thing, getting the all attack. Dispel poison is shit. This is okay. Getting the increased damage 25% for all allies also is good. But he doesn't have any speed gimmicks, and really getting to A tier, you need to be either a pretty good damage dealer or have like a sort of gimmick, which he doesn't have, which him is just increasing damage by a pretty good amount though. Like, get 40% and then you can increase damage. But if we go to stats also, like supporter, speed, like he's still there, right? I'd say overall he is still there. Gift Soul, I could argue I could see A tier. Like, the more I'm looking at him, I could see A tier. It's just that it's not crazy to me, especially because part of his kit is against bosses for PvP. It's not like insane, I'd say, but it's still good, right? It's still good, but not insane. Definitely worthy B tier, like high B tier in my eyes, I guess, but definitely B tier. Now next up, Kahono S tier. Actually was a lot better than I thought she was. She's like a better version of Rodus in her own way, but Rodus does have his stuff. It's just Rodus' shield is going to be better in most cases, but Kahono, basically her skill 2 is insane. You're going to use skill 2 then alt. Her skill 2 gives a barrier which is 14% of her max HP, and then increases defense by 140% at the same time, which is basically both of Rodus' skills in one. Then she also wait, does she really? She does not. Okay, yeah, so basically I thought, never mind. She also makes it so that you heal for more on your, when, like, she's gonna make it so that your allies heal for more on her ult, and then if she has skill page, she dispels debuff. Now, why this is crazy getting the barrier and increased defense is that you won't really be able to pierce that barrier because of this 240% defense. So this barrier is really good alongside this, and then she has a really good ult giving all attack increase with the healing, and she also gives herself more max HP. She has pretty good HP, and I'd say like you could get her very high up for her HP to make her barrier insane and also make her HP recovery insane. Overall, just really good. I like that she scales off of max HP because you could just build her full HP and she'll be really good. As a tank, she's really good, and there's a meta where you use Rodus, Noelle, and Kahono and you just don't die, because Rodus has a 140% increase, Noelle's shield is insane, and then Kahono also has a shield with a 140% defense increase, both being really good, right? So Yeah, definitely insane. Kahono was a lot better than I thought, and so was Kyoto. Kyoto ended up being a lot better on second look, because Kyoto just has the best or highest attack stats in the game. In terms of total attack. Oh wait, yeah, sorry. Well, hello. Is it just? Oh right, okay, reset. So in terms of total attack, he has the most in the game, because in total this is about 50. Sorry, 18.7, 18.8, where others are max like 17, and this is what, like 15, 16. So like he has just in total the most attack. And then he also has a really good kit and an insane passive where every buff he gets, he basically tanks better. And after 5 of the exciting dance buffs, he gets an idle debut, which gives him more tanking by getting 30% endurance and block, while also getting 50% damage increase. And his ult with 2 or more buffs gives him a guaranteed crit, and every buff is a 15% increased accuracy. He has really good numbers for single target. And his AoE is okay. I don't feel like it's crazy. He has lower attack stats on his ult, but on his skill 2, sorry, on his AoE skill 2. But it's fine overall to me, because his ult is crazy and you're mainly using him to snipe. Like you could do a Kyoto on the Noel team, which is what I've done, and you just snipe, snipe, snipe. And Kyoto is really good to just snipe Noels with like 300k, 200k ults. So I really like Kyoto overall, very good. I love him, actually. I really do love him. So this is seeming to be the tier list to me. I'd say that things I'm sort of iffy on is Gifso, Blue William, and Blue Yami. Those are the 3, but I think that Kyoto really does solidify Blue Yami being here. And Fauna is just outright better for PvP as a blue unit. So I'd say that, like, yeah, he's ended up here. Very tragic, but that's how it is. Now these SRs, let's just go over the SRs real quick. Asta, really good tank, and Ghost could still tank very well. Now he has good damage. He has good damage. Noelle could still shield. She could stun. She could like actually defend allies really well. He has a stun. She could heal. They both AoE stun. They don't really do too much, but they're not like this level where she doesn't she has a single target heal. She has 1 AoE heal, but could still really easily die, and Heath has literally nothing in my eyes. So yeah, as for the SSRs, let's talk about the other ones real quick. I mean, all of these we went over. Lil's good. He's still very good, but just I don't know. I don't see him being there. Charlotte is still a very good debuffer in my eyes. He could still be pretty good, I'd say, especially now that blues are starting to come back into the meta. Not really many red units, except for the only one who could tank very well with like crit resistance and all that. Now these guys, I don't like Vettel too much. I don't think he's that good. He's just like a wasted slot in my eyes. Jack could do good single target damage, but that's all you could do. And you don't want to just do single target damage in this game in most cases, unless you're like Kyoto, just like one tapping easily, right? And you want to build it's like you could build him up a lot, but there's no guarantee that giving him all the buffs will like pay off as crazy amounts, right? And it's just better to use Kyoto, right? And then Nozel is an okay debuffer. Leopold just needed to be a bit more tanky in my eyes. And then because like he's worse than Fauna, but he was still worthy of A tier. But now that I realize, like, oh, his HP is pretty bad. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, they have the same HP, but Fauna's still, like, here, because she has that double AoE, it's just way better. And Sally doesn't have any speed. So for me, as a supporter in PvP, you kind of need to have speed. Now, yeah, that's basically it for the tier list. The only thing I changed for PvP defense is Asta going down in A tier, because single target Asta could easily get taunted, and then he's shit, GG. So let me know what you think of this tier list. I don't do rares. I don't think they're really good, and I don't want to rank them. Too many units that I don't use. So yeah, this is basically the tier list. Let me know what you guys think. That's basically it for the video. Much quicker one this time, but yeah, peace.